Let's stay with presidential politics. The 2024 race, Donald Trump has been receiving a little bit of criticism from different circles about the fact that he doesn't really have any policy prescriptions for 2024. He rolled onto the scene in 2015, rolled down his escalator and came out and called Mexicans rapists. They're not sending their best. They're sending their worst, the rapists and the drugs and I assume some of them are good people, you'll remember. And then it was Muslim bans and all of the rest. And now, where do you go from there? It seems, because Ron DeSantis, again, seems to be the chief opponent that we will see, it seems that Donald Trump is going to try to out-DeSantis Ron DeSantis, out-bigot Ron DeSantis, out-homophobe Ron DeSantis. He is going to try to anti-trans bigot off the charts. And this is one of the first policy prescriptions that Donald Trump, a la his wall, except now he wants to oppress a marginalized population in the United States. Here's Donald Trump talking about what he wants to do with education and trans rights.
As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth.
This is damaging rhetoric. It's obviously goofy coming out of the mouth of this pumpkinhead, but this is dangerous. The trans population in the United States and likely the world possesses some of the highest suicide rates among any group. This is hateful. This is damaging. This is harmful. And for Donald Trump to tout education about the nuclear family, what's next for Donald Trump? My new policy prescription is to teach people to have sex with porn stars and then pay them off with $130,000. Cheat on all my wives. This is what you have to do to be a good Christian man in America, and we're going to sign a bill to make it so. This is hypocrisy, this is hate, this is xenophobia, and really it boils down to, where does Donald Trump go from here? He's played the greatest hits. We've seen the greatest hits in 2016. He tried to replace some of that in 2020. He created new things to whine and complain about and fearmonger about in 2020. So where does he go from here? He's going to have to level up. He's going to have to ramp up the hatred and the bigotry and the xenophobia and the racism. He's going to have to do that to reconnect to the base, to inflame their passions. This is what he's going to have to do. And listen, I don't know. I fear for the country. I fear for marginalized groups. Look, I'm going to be okay. I'm a white guy in America. I could fail up and down the street and still do okay. But it's marginalized groups. It's those desperate people coming from other countries trying to make a better life for themselves and escape brutality in their home countries that are going to suffer. It's the LGBTQ community in this country that will suffer. It is a rogue MAGA Supreme Court that has been appointed by Donald Trump that's going to bring to fruition this type of oppression. We need to brace ourselves for the fight ahead. We need to enlist those around us who have compassion and empathy for humankind to get to the polls. Your family, your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, your acquaintances. These conversations, while uncomfortable, need to be talked about. Because you may know a Republican. You may think to yourself, he's a decent person. He votes Republican, but he doesn't care if gay people get married. But if that person, this good and decent person, votes for someone who then oppresses with their legislation, who then votes and enacts policy that does oppress people, how is that good and decent person any better than what they enacted through their votes? And I think this is the way we need to talk about this going forward into 2024, because we've witnessed from a distance, fortunately for me, but some not from a distance. Millions of people live in Florida. They've witnessed Ron DeSantis and the things he's been able to accomplish with his Republican majority. They're trying to turn America into Florida, and that is a terrifying proposition. So I hope that you become as passionate as I feel about this and move into 2024 to combat this nonsense. Because as scary as it was in 2016, and as scary as it could have been after the 2020 election, it's gonna get worse. I hope you're in for it.
As many people know, I'm a white ale type of guy when it comes to beer. And even for those of us who drink responsibly, like me, sometimes you still feel it the next day and it can slow you down, especially when you start to get up there in the years like me. Check out our sponsor Zebiotics, which is a probiotic drink that breaks down the byproduct of alcohol, responsible for those rough mornings after drinking. All you do is drink a tiny bottle of Zebiotics before you have alcohol. Next day, you'll feel refreshed and ready to go. The way it works is when you drink, a toxic byproduct builds up in your gut, and that's what causes you to feel bad the next day. Zebiotics produces an enzyme to break down that byproduct, and Zebiotics stands by their product 100%. If it doesn't work for you, you get all your money back, no questions asked. Remember, we're talking about drinking responsibly here. I can't more highly prioritize getting a good night's sleep. Zebiotics is for responsible drinkers who just want to get the most out of the next day. Go to zebiotics.com/Pacman. Get 15% off your first order with the code Pacman. The link is down below.